Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday, everybody. I'm jumping in here first just to greet you guys. We didn't show up last week. Um, I had digestive issues, and so that's putting it modestly. But anyway, so we're back. We're back, and between then and now, my tooth pulled itself in the dentist's office. That's hilarious. Okay, so I'm gonna welcome you guys, and here I'm gonna bring on Kat. Hey, Kat,
Hello.
how you doing, honey bunch?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm really good, thanks. Here we are with our new look,
Mm-hmm.
our new brand.
Mm.
Um, this Robin and this Cat, we are going to have merch. But you know what? I was looking and it's hard to decide what merch place to use because they say, "Oh, the quality's crappy," or, you read reviews. You don't know what to believe anymore because, there's so much, like, lies out there. Anyway, I think we're gonna just do a limited selection of products, like a coffee mug, simple white coffee mug, or a black coffee mug, okay?
Yeah.
That with our little bird and cat,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe 1, possibly 2 other items, short sleeve T-shirt, hoodie, 3 items,
Yeah.
black or white.
Mm.
But then deciding how to, um and I studied hard about resizing and using a PNG instead of a JPEG
Oh, yeah.
and do, like, lots of pixels and vivid colors. Boy, school was in, I got it but, okay, before we go blather on,
Right.
I think we need a little testosterone in the room, okay? Hi, Kellendall. Oh, sorry, caught you eating.
Hello.
Hi. What'd you just eat?
A cheese curd.
Ooh.
Oh, you know what? When you said that, I got a chill down my spine that went right to my tailbone because cheese curds, that's like poutine, you know? The which is a wonderful concept, the gravy over fries and then cheese. Okay, but cheese curd, they squeak.
Yeah. Yeah, they can squeak.
That makes me crazy.
That was my first thought when you said cheese curd. Right away, my brain went poutine. But hey,
Squeak!
I'm Canadian, so there you go.
Yeah, and some parts of Canada call it poutine.
Yeah, poutine,
Yeah,
poutine. I guess if you were in Quebec, it would be poutine.
yeah, Quebec.
Um,
I understand
mhm.
it's pronounced Quebec.
Quebec. Yeah,
Yeah,
Quebec.
but but the very first time I had cheese curds was on poutine, and I ordered it I had take order in from the office, and I just, oh boy, that looks wonderful. The gravy is always perfect, perfect fries, and then the cheese started squeaking,
Mm.
and it just drove me nuts. I hate that. It's creepy. It's creepy. So yay, anybody who can stand that squeak of that cheese, congrats.
Well, that's why you gotta eat it fresh, so it's, like, still soft, won't squeak.
Mm-hmm.
That's the secret.
That's the secret.
Squeak means old.
Well, it means the cheese is hardened up.
Okay, well, that's sort of like a metaphor for us all. You squeak, you get hardened up, you're old. Yeah,
Squeaky wheels get the grease, though.
this is true. This is certainly true. Okay, so um, okay, so Jonacide says, "Who's cat? What happened to Prairie Queen?" Okay, so you guys. Okay, so anyway, I want to start off with a clip. Okay, I'm going to start off with a clip, and this is like a. Oh, and I wanted to just make one statement because this is certainly not number one a reaction channel or a political channel, but I just want to make the statement: war is murder. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. So I'm going to add something here. I'm going to play a clip. How do I do this? Suddenly I have forgotten how to do this. Present or invite. Duh. Okay, so video file. And I'm going to go to my desktop and I'm going to show. Okay, do you guys, I don't know if you guys remember, am I showing anything?
Nope.
Robin? No, okay. But anyway, an old television personality, she was like really famous. Her name was Stephanie Edwards. She did the AM Los Angeles with Ralph Story. Ralph Story and Stephanie Edwards. Stephanie Edwards used to host the Rose Parade with Bob Eubanks. Bob Eubanks and
Mm.
Stephanie Edwards hosted the Rose Parade for many years. I don't know if she's still with us, but she did this public service thing, and I just wanted to show you guys. Okay, so open. So everybody get a beverage. This is going to take just a little while. I might just cut it short if we get the message across early. Okay, you guys ready?
For sure.
Okay, might be a trigger warning for us. So ahead, this could have trigger warning implications. Okay, here we go. I think this is from the 80s. 83. There she is.
Hi, my name is Stephanie, and this is Diane, Janice, Aaron, Lucas, Rolinda, and Jennifer. We've been talking about grown-ups and how grown-ups act with children. Some grown-ups, not very many, like to hurt children or to touch them in ways they shouldn't be touched.
How are we doing, you guys? Okay.
So far, so
Doing
good.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're a dad, Killibles.
Even somebody you know.
Yes, you can be hurt, even by somebody you know. It might be a neighbor, or it might be somebody you thought was your friend. It might even be somebody who lives with you. And that's wrong. So we want to talk about how to keep that from happening, or what to do if it does happen. Okay, let's get back in our circle here now.
Okay.
Let's talk for a minute about strangers. Does everybody know what a stranger is?
A stranger is someone you don't know.
Exactly. A stranger is somebody you don't know. Okay, let's play a little game of Let's Pretend now. We'll think of some situations between kids and strangers. And while you're watching, you can play too. Put yourself in the situation and see if you can decide what you would do. Now, who wants to volunteer to help me here? How about Janice and Diane? Let's pretend that the two of you are in your front yard.
It needs to be tighter. Well, don't tighten it too much or it won't roll. That's why they call it roller skates. Give me a break, would you?
And a man you've never seen before comes up the street.
Excuse me. Could you come here for a second? I was wondering if you could help me. I was walking my dog at the park, and she ran away. You haven't seen her by any chance, have you?
What kind is it?
She's an Irish setter. Her name is Princess.
We haven't seen her around here.
Do you think you could help me look for her? I don't know this neighborhood. Maybe you could walk around the block with me.
Diane, Janice, what do you think?
He looks like a nice man.
Yes, he does look nice. And it's sad that he lost his dog. But do you know him?
No.
So he is a
Stranger.
And is it ever safe to go with strangers?
We're sorry about your dog.
He sort of looks like Santana. Sorry, Carlos.
Carlos Santana.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, had to throw in a little irreverence because, damn, you know, kids are smarter these days. I think that they're smarter.
I will keep an eye out for her, but we can't go with you.
Please?
No, sorry.
You two did the right thing. Say no. Never go with someone you don't know, even if they seem nice. Now, that man might have been friendly, but he might also have been someone who would hurt you. You cannot tell. So, it's always safer to say no.
Okay, but what if you say no and he still won't go away?
Yeah, what happens if the guy keeps hanging around?
I really need your help.
No, sorry.
Hey, look. They're acting stupid now. All I need is a little help.
What should they do?
Run! Get out!
Yeah, see, when I was raising my little ones, my first, you know, that just run, just run. Don't engage, don't take just turn around and run, just run. You don't have to say anything. Okay, here we go.
I think you all had the right idea. Get away. If you think a situation is strange or even dangerous, get away. Don't talk, don't ask questions, don't be polite. Just get away. It's better to be safe than sorry. All right? Now, once Diane and Janice get inside the house, what do they do next? Rolinda?
Lock the door.
That's a good idea. What else?
Tell our mom and dad.
Ah, that's a very good idea. Anytime anything strange happens, tell someone. Maybe your mom and dad, maybe your grandparents, maybe your teacher, but tell someone. Now, why do you think it's important to tell an adult? Aaron?
So they can do something about it.
Like call the police or something.
Or if he's not really a bad guy, maybe help him find his dog.
I don't know, he acted pretty weird.
You're right, Aaron. He did act a bit strange. Have you ever noticed when something didn't seem quite right? When something was just a little unusual? Let's let Aaron and Lucas have a chance at pretending now. Let's say you guys are on the playground, playing on the slide.
Swings.
Okay, the swings. And you see someone you don't know just hanging around.
Hey, who's that?
I don't know. I never seen him before in my life. There's probably nobody. Come on.
Yeah, but what's he hang around here for? Most guys his age don't usually hang around little kids.
That is a sharp cookie right there. Yeah, always be aware of your surroundings, kids. Always.
Don't be silly. He's nobody.
By keeping your eyes open and using your brain, you might be able to help other kids besides yourself. Suppose something bad is about to happen. Maybe these kids don't know our rules. Maybe they don't understand you can say no. Maybe they don't know how important it is to get away.
I think I'm going to tell somebody about this guy, just to be sure.
Good. That's just what you should do. We have eyes to see and brains to think. And if we see something that looks a little strange, we can use our brains. We can tell an adult, someone we know and trust.
Okay, you guys, really quick. I got to stop this because I just went over and looked on YouTube. Do we have a blank screen on YouTube? It's showing on YouTube? What we're saying? Okay, because when I go over, and then the cat keeps getting bounced out because she has sketchy internet. So every time the video rolls, YouTube bounces cat out. But so anyway, after we're done with this, I don't know how to speed this up. But anyway, we'll be done with this soon.
what we've seen. Okay? Now, what are the rules we've learned so far? Rolinda?
If someone wants you to do something and you don't think it's right, you can say no.
Even to an adult?
Yes, even to an adult.
That's right. And Lucas?
If the person looks like they're gonna hurt you, you should get away as fast as you can.
What if you're not sure the person is going to hurt you or not?
Well, it's better to be safe.
That's right. Even if a situation seems a little bit strange, it's better to get away. Janice?
If somebody's acting weird, you can tell someone.
And don't wait until it eats at you for years. So far that it ruins your mentals and your health.
Well, a person could seem strange to you, but really be okay.
Yeah, but maybe they aren't okay. Anyway, you should tell your mom or your dad or your teacher, and they can tell you whether they're okay or not.
Exactly. All right, you've all done very well, but now it's going to get a little harder. We all know what a stranger is, right?
Yeah.
The problem is it's not always strangers who hurt children. Sometimes it can be someone you know. You want to help us with an example?
She's pretty shy about things.
Well, that's okay. Shy people need to know how to handle themselves, too. Let's pretend you're walking home from school. And let's say that a neighbor, someone you know who lives down the street, sees you walking by.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hello, Mr. Schaefer.
On your way home from school?
Yeah?
Pretty hot day. You want to come in for a minute? I've got some fresh lemonade in the refrigerator.
What do you think, Jennifer?
I don't know. He's a neighbor. He's always been nice. Yeah, sure.
Oh, dumbass.
There we go. Here, let's get you up for a second. Oh, my goodness, you're getting to be such a big girl. What grade are you in?
4th.
Oh, there you are. Say, I'll bet your mother didn't know it was going to be this hot when she sent you off to school in that long-sleeve blouse and those corduroy pants.
Okay, I think we got the point across here. Perhaps. I've had enough. How about you guys? If you had enough, are you full up?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good on it.
Yeah, okay, so Kat will return shortly. Okay, Kat, it's safe to return because the video's all done. Okay, so I don't know how to get rid of that. Okay, I guess I don't need to even bother. Okay, Prairie Queen, Kat, come back. Okay, so anyway, Kellendall, she'll just slip in. So, how you been?
Me, I'm all right. Doing okay. How about you?
Pretty good. It was so you're okay, here she is. Hey.
I'm
Bounce.
sorry. I'm having one of those days. Remember how once in a blue moon I just bounce out a lot?
Yeah, and here you are doing it again so that we don't forget.
Yeah, I'm just looking for attention.
Yeah, well, mission accomplished.
There you
I
go.
would say. Okay, hi Maggie over in the chat. Good to see you. Yeah, one of the ex-grannies. Okay, Jonaside says just get the wood chipper feet first on slow. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, you guys, I want to talk about something a little gross because it just is mind-blowing, and because I'm really old, I can talk about it without shame. This week, okay, in the middle of the night, okay, I've had this bad tooth, second bad tooth in a few months. Okay, I had the first one pulled. Dentist wanted to do both of them, but I couldn't afford to have both of them because that would mean another 50. Anyway, I waited till it got really bad and I didn't do anything. So I woke myself up in the middle of the night, biting down on this tooth that was longer than the others, and it just seared right through my brain and woke me up. And then it hurt ever since that moment. So I called the dentist. The dentist said, Okay, and she's already closed her office. She's headed back east because she's from Iran, and she is gathering a family and stuff. So but she opened the office just for me. She's my old dentist from 15 years ago. She's very dear, and she says I look just like her auntie back in Chicago. So, we bonded, of course. But anyway, so she opens her office for me. We sit down and we're talking. So she puts this numbing stuff, the fat Q-tip. And so she puts the topical numbing stuff, and it was like instant relief. So I did, the angels were singing, and so I gave it a test. She's, okay. So we waited a little bit. She's popped the Novocaine or like whatever that is, popped it. She's getting ready for the syringe to go in me, and I pressed on the side of my jaw, and my tooth popped out. My dentist goes, ah, ah, ah. And um, so anyway, it essentially like committed unaliving itself right there in the dentist chair. It's and I tried to do it at home because I have done it at home before. Um, you have a lot of teeth. Well, I don't so much anymore. But anyway, I couldn't do it at home because the pain was excruciating. I thought, okay, I've got 20-pound test line. I know how to tie a sinker knot. But I couldn't because it hurt. But once you put that numbing stuff off, it's like my body said, "You're free." And so when I pressed, my tooth just went, but but she did charge me $50 because she can't reuse that Novocaine because I was her last patient of her whole West Coast life. And so happily paid the $50. She said, "Don't call your Uber." And so she drove me home. Is that a dentist or what?
It's a good person.
Oh, she's lovely. She is. I have found that with most people who are not American born, as a matter of fact. And once again, a reminder, war is murder. Okay, so anyway, what else do we have to talk about? Anything anybody want to talk about?
I mean, I'll get going on anything, so whatever you want to throw at me, but
I don't know. I don't know. Boy, Kellendar, there's always so much in your head that, boy, I'm just drawing. Okay, I have a small detail. It's not even a minor irritation, but I sort of get dismayed and just go, oh, well. Okay, I love tea. I love really strong tea. My favorite is Earl Grey. Okay, and in a cup mug, I have a giant mug for my tea and my coffee, and I use 2 Lipton tea bags and 1 Earl Grey, okay? And I let it steep for like 7 or 8 minutes. And then, because by that time it's cooled off enough to squeeze it without, melting the tips of your fingers off. So, and you want to get every drop out. So dunk, dunk, dunk. And then you give it a squeeze, and then done. Then I can put it in the trash. But the times when I give it an extra squeeze too hard or I change the angle and the tea bag bursts over your cup and it releases particulate stuff. And I go, oh, fuck. Do I redo the whole thing or do I try to fish that shit out of there? Do I strain it? I've done all the options, but that's that, so, you learn to use care squeezing those bags coming out of your teeth.
I don't know. I think that's just extra fiber.
Yeah.
reminds me of a phrase I keep hearing from this YouTuber where he's like, he dug too deep and too greedily, and he paid the price for it, or something like that. And it's like And I feel like that's kind of like the energy there. It's like you're trying to get every last ounce of tea enriched water from the tea bag.
Yeah, that tipping point,
Yeah.
that critical mass, that
Mhm.
point that you need to stop just before reaching.
But
Yeah,
like
that's
in the
hard.
video, it's always better to be safe than sorry.
Oh, yes. See, you summed it all up right
Right.
there. Yeah, yeah. So, okay, this is the 8th of March. What's coming up next? St. Patrick's Day.
Yes.
When is St. Patrick's Day? It
The
comes on,
17th or
yeah,
something?
it comes on a Tuesday. That's not a show day. I love it when one of these things, happen on a Sunday. Good.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to do like a show any old time, but that's not our style anymore.
I don't really practice St. Patrick's Day. I don't.
Well, I'll keep practicing till I'm good at it.
I heard it wasn't like any particular bad people that were driven out of Ireland. It was like the mass culling of the Irish Druids that they were referring to when they say that.
Mm. The snakes and the rats and whatever. Really?
Yeah, and the Irish Druids were, I mean, depending on which version of revisionistic history you're studying, a lot of people think highly of the Druids, you know. And so I
Yeah.
think Ireland's been the subject of like the Merovingians, the Rothschilds, like since some people believe in the Great Flood or like pre-Diluvian times.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure the reason why the Druids were culled and why they were considered snakes in our current version of history is because they were actually holding on to secret ancient knowledge, which would make the way that these families are holding the world captive ideologically, spiritually impossible because they know the true history of what we now call Christianity and lots of other things in the world.
I
Well,
totally agree.
and it's been said down eons and eons that we really don't know what the world is like. We only know the world through filters and through carefully curated informational sources.
Mhm.
And a banker, a banker who went into exile, faked his suicide and went into exile. He was interviewed in a secret place, and he says, "You have no idea what the world is really like." He says, "I don't," but he says, "I've seen so much, you have no clue."
Have you seen the quote from Putin where he's like, "The vampire's ball is coming to an end"? Have you seen that?
No.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Putin is saying the war he's waging is against a spiritually dark satanic cabal who have been like a vampire's ball throughout the last 2,000 years or more.
Man, that just makes my head spin because there's shit that is not, that I don't understand that can't be explained, but it's boy, it just feels so fucking valid. It has a real feel to it, even though it's easy to say, "Oh, I'm bullshit." It's okay. Where's my grocery list? I need eggs. It's so profound and vast and mind-boggling, the dark forces and the spiritual thing. Boy, that I gotta say, if it's real, and I'm afraid it is, holy fuck.
Well, you keep saying like war is murder, and that's a very like spiritual Christian take, one I happen to agree with. Um,
You don't have to have that kind of a viewpoint to know that bloated, horrid, uh, f d you know, I don't even have to be anything to notice that that's just horribly wrong.
well, the Bible says, "Thou shall not kill." And that would even include animals if you think about it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, hey, I'm not even making a critique of murder. I'm just, it's just a thing. It doesn't hold any more weight to word-wise than it's just what's it, it's murder. It's murder, I don't, yeah, what it is. Yeah, and yeah, I will happily murder a lamb
Right.
for that standing roast, Yeah, it is what it is.
Well, I always wonder, like, if killing livestock, because you hear like these esoteric statements, like as within, so without, as above, so below.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
if we livestock animals, does that open us up karmically, energetically to being livestocked ourselves? You
Why
know,
not?
people say,
Mhm.
like, oh, there's aliens eating people, or the vampire's ball, the
The great
Mhm.
satanic ball.
great circle of life or
Right.
death or just existence.
I think there's something to it. I think it's a form of us giving some kind of permission. Like like when the people in the video are approaching these kids, these naive, green-eyed, green-eared kids new to the world, they ask for, like, they say a vampire can't come into your home unless they're invited in. They're like they're inviting the lesser into the kind of tainted scenario in a way. And it's like, I think we get seduced by that, thinking like, oh well, it's okay to kill for food, because we as a people, especially if there was a great flood, would have come from times where cannibalism or resources around the world would have been so sparse, eating other beings might have been the only form of sustenance that there was. And it's this kind of lesser of two evils kind of rationalization. Um,
Hmm.
and I think it's, what do they call that? Like the fruit of the devil, or I forget the phrase that's coming to mind,
Oh, yeah, yeah. Um,
but we kind of enter into these things under what seems like innocent presupposition. Oh, he's asking me in for some lemonade, right? It's just some lemonade. Um, but ultimately, the ulterior motives that are had are the kind that would chill your bones. And I think that's what's happening to humanity is we've been for thousands of years falsely led around by the nose to believe that things like eating animals every single day, killing them for the sake of sustenance, even though we might be able to find other ways to sustain ourselves. And we just do so now out of convenience. We do so now out of a sense of pleasure, not so much because it's a required thing. Um, and
hmm.
I think that's really what's wrong with the world is we're so far from what is the actual like standard operating procedure of what a good person would have that there's actually seldom any good people around. And we just, we're like pigs rolling in our own shit
We're savages.
Mhm.
almost. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Um, we're yeah, we're savages. There's a fine line between us and animals who don't go to a 9 to 5.
Yeah. They don't have these complicated thoughts. They can't do math. But then you like have a dog or a cat and they show levels of compassion and love for you that you don't see even
Well,
from what you call your best friend.
a
Mhm.
cat'll judge your ass, though.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
I've had dogs just simp all over me for no reason, but a cat'll just look at
Well,
Yeah.
I have one cat, a male cat, and I always joke and say he's the head of the household.
you. Yeah,
So, but
yeah.
no, it's true. Like people don't realize with the animal kingdom, they're not out there. Well, mostly not eating each other. They were eating other, yeah, but then what, this is what is supposed to be us versus the animals, you know?
It's us versus each other.
Yeah, and
and,
in a different way now.
and the laws are only designed to defend rich people.
So
The
see, like
laws
that,
protect rich people from the likes of us.
right? Us, like that man isn't luring that kid in with lemonade because he needs to eat. But he is, you know what I mean? The kid's not
Well,
going to
hold
be
on.
Hassenpfeffer or
M-
whatever. But I mean, well,
Maybe
you never know.
there's a
Um,
form of consumption that is happening.
exactly.
He's tainting the
It,
innocence.
it's yeah, consumption, supply.
Yeah.
Y- Ooh, isn't that just
Well,
yeah?
the things that spiritually satisfy you in life are in essence a kind of food that is needed to sustain you, because
Oh,
if you
sure.
don't if you don't have any kind of like motivation, greater perspective on what your purpose in the world is, you're going to look to things like, and I do this, like I burn my fingers in the pursuit of pleasure. Okay. And that means I eat too much junk food. I play too much video games. I don't do the things that would make my life longer lasting and more sustainable because I'm so bereft of any higher meaning. Because I've had my kids essentially taken from me. And I've
Uh,
recently learned that every accusation I've ever launched was dead on the money true about the people who took them from me.
uh,
And my bones, they get they get ice cold with anger and rage and perhaps like wanting to take that anger out on the people who have wronged me. Because I don't see the end of the tunnel in a more virtuous way. I don't see what the purpose of all this is, right? And um, I
yeah.
just see like this is a material world. You know,
Hmm.
there are a very limited amount of things that I can understand about my position and my role within the context of that dynamic. And so as it, like you wind the clock back 100 years and you look at someone in my shoes, you'd be saying, you need to go out and kill that guy and
Hmm.
possibly that bitch that went with him and is doing meth with him and just get your kids back, you know? And you'd watch a movie about it and you'd root for the guy in my position every second of that story. You 100% would.
Exactly.
And but
That's
thou shall not
crazy.
kill. Thou shall not kill, right? And we now
You know,
have the facilities in place that make it so that if I was to attempt to do that, I would surely pay a greater price than the people that I did kill. So I can't
And
do that.
and 100 years ago, uh, anger was the fuel that like gave you the to do it. Okay, 100 years later, now that we know there are there's a different viewpoint, a different attitude, and different consequences, and the sides have changed, and it's in the upside down. And so, with that knowledge, know that anger is not good for you.
Well,
It can take you down.
acting in anger is a sure quick way to allow a sociopath or people who are consigned to the sociological structure that we have contrived for ourselves. It allows them to use whatever misstep you make in this little hierarchy of things that we've now deemed to be okay. And it allows them to punish you for being emotional. You can't be emotional in court. You can't be emotional when the people who love you and you love back are hurting you, because when you act out of emotions, you end up hurting them back. And
And
people,
it's immediately discounted.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it,
Quiet calculation
well,
is the most powerful position.
mhm. You know, when you refer to 100 years ago, okay, that fellow trying to lure the kid in with, for lemonade. Should something have horribly have happened back then, that man would have just sort of disappeared, or the entire town would have been on the side of the parents who ended that situation permanently. Nowadays, it's evolved, right
Technical
and
foul.
wrong.
Technical foul. Take
See
it back to the
something
10-yard line.
that went overboard.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's well, our cohesiveness as a society, that's that's been systematically destroyed. Don't join groups, don't have gatherings, don't be friends with a whole lot of people with the same mindset, because that possibly spells danger for us down the road. So we are kept suspicious of each other and separate
Hmm.
from each other. And you know, it's all by design. Yeah, the world isn't like we're really seeing it. You know?
I find that same rationale exists in politics. We don't often listen to the arguments of people once we see the technical foul. Oh, you said this thing, and therefore, no matter what else you say, there's no validity to it in my mind. I won't listen to that. And it's this dismissiveness and the losing the tree from the forest, or however the saying goes,
Yeah.
because we found some kind of a technicality, and maybe in some kind of a technical sense, killing people taints your soul at a level that it's really not worth doing that. But it's still the rational human response to a situation that's that violating, that's that disrespectful of humanity, innocence, etc. Because like we're just limited people. We don't really have the full perspective on things, and people just we get carried away with our emotions. We don't see, and without any like true hierarchical spiritual teaching that shows us why, and not just the courts or the judges and the prison and the penalties otherwise that we bestow upon ourselves, but if we knew truly like the spiritual reason why we should not. And I think that's what predators are essentially looking for when they do this tainting of the innocence. They're looking for this thing that perhaps probably happened to them, and they're reenacting it with others who are equally or maybe more so innocent than they were when they were tainted. And then they
To
go,
regain the
it's
power that
it's a
they
s-
lost.
no, it's not even that. It's like a scientific thing in my opinion. It's like they're like, what is this? Is this energy I feel satisfying me, or is this because they're probably getting like an adrenaline kick, a dopamine kick, and they're like being satiated by that in some way? But it's like a confusion of the fact that they're really looking for some kind of an explanation as to like why, what happened, what is happening, and they just relive the pattern until perhaps they get hurt, condemned, or otherwise. And but in,
Yeah.
in in truth, it's like this endless seeking from a place of ignorance, total ignorance of all the like the values that are at play. And they're like, this is a thing. This is a thing, and we do this. And because there is no greater purpose, there is nothing else that satisfies.
Yeah, and it's necessary to recapture that, re-experience it somehow, even
Right.
though it's going the other direction. It feels the same.
It was the most significant moment, right? It's more significant than listening to a preacher talk about God because you can't connect with that, but you can connect with an immediate experience that you're having.
Yeah, the synapse firings, the surges, the
Hmm.
pleasure,
You've
all of that covers so many more bases than the Word of God. Uh, yeah, yeah, huh. Boy, that's horribly interesting. It's phew. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I keep hearing about narcissists on Facebook, and it's like that's like the puzzle I'm kind of picking at now. It's like what is because I've been called a narcissist, and I see the way that narcissists are described, and I'm like, that's like every person I've ever been at odds with. That's how that looks, you know.
Right? Because, if you're the judge, you can call what you see.
But
And
you
if, you know,
you gotta adversarialize, demonize the other to justify the way that you're going to want to treat them.
ah, boy, that's
Yeah,
narcissistic.
that is they are very complex. But I stumbled across what I assume, because they said so, I'm going by their word, on the YouTubes, a fellow that used to put out videos, he still might, I don't know. He was a narcissist, or is, and would describe different things, and different levels of narcissism as well, and different types of narcissistic people and whatnot. Very fascinating. I too fell down a rabbit hole on narcissism, and now it's part of my world. And it's like when I see certain things out there, right away I'm going, "Oh, is that narcissistic tendencies you have there?" Or, let's take a step back and stop and just sort of think about this, because, you don't want to start labeling people.
Have you heard of suicidal empathy?
No.
In
No.
my opinion now is like any super pathology is a problem, because if you're too busy empathizing to look at an experience from how it affects you from your own two shoes, um, because you're an empath or whatever,
Right.
um, then you end up sacrificing the aspects of yourself which you should not. It's at the cost of your overall well-being to a lot of extents, and that's what the US has gone through. We've gone through about 50 to 100 years of propaganda, which is pretty much forcing a suicidal level of empathy with the rest of the world, with the quality of living that we've enjoyed, with the certain luxuries in life that we've enjoyed. Um, we're at a point where it's precipitated our economy, our political system, and just the way that we interact with each other on a daily basis, to the point where you're only a virtuoso if you're empathetic to a point where it's almost like you're suicidal to be that way. And I think this is losing the forest from the trees all over again, just like how we get caught up in the idea of capitalism, or some any kind of pathological one way is the right way kind of thinking. It like to say that everything should be capitalized is the reason why we have predatorial medical industry components, predatorial political industry components. And so there definitely needs to be a higher level of perspective applied to this, where we actually where we socialize certain aspects of our life. Like there maybe should be some things that the pursuit of profit cannot be the underlying and only driving motivation behind, like, housing, because you get a company like BlackRock who owns more houses than there are homeless people to fill them with, and all just for the sake of driving up the price of a home, so that people who have been sold on the idea that owning your house is a way to wealth, can actually continue to believe and live that that sale.
That has always, and all throughout my life, you hear about so many tons of corn
Yeah,
were destroyed
yeah.
over and
Mhm.
instead of
Milk and
benefiting
corn. Milk and
milk.
corn.
Mhm. Oh,
So
yeah.
many gazillion gallons of milk
Yeah.
poured. Wheat,
Mhm.
Well, I think China, somebody accepted our excess wheat, but all that other stuff just to keep the prices stable. There, okay, here in Los Angeles, I don't care if I dox myself, try to find me. Uh, so many multi-story buildings, old buildings, established buildings, part of the like vintage landscape. So many of them are sitting empty. So many of them are owned by either small corporation, offshore, or one individual,
Mm,
newly here,
mhm.
and they're kept, and it's okay because I personally toured many of them when back we were looking for a new office. But floor after floor, empty offices, beautifully appointed, walnut burl this and brass handled that, empty. Why? Waiting for the sweet moment when they're gonna turn it for 10 times what they paid. Meanwhile, they don't care about perhaps doing good while they're waiting for their investment to cook. You know, there's
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right on the head. Right on the head.
Mm,
I play a game where there's like an in-game auction house system, and I see people reenacting this very principle within the game, which is forcing people who pick up the game to invest real life money so that they can actually have the resources to play it. But I also played this game where there was no window of opportunity for you to pay real life money, and so the worth of an item in the game was only what you could sell it for in the moment, and so it had a much more organic kind of economy.
That's like real
mhm.
commerce
It
Mhm.
is, and it's
without artifice.
in an economy, something is only worth what you can get someone else to pay for it, right? So there's this idea that if you can corner a market, then you can set the price and people will just simply have to pay it because it's something that they need. But when you take that the full 9 yards, you start to see that the person who's cornered the market actually has a backstock of goods which are actually going spoiled in the
Excuse me.
name of getting X amount per unit or whatever the philosophy they have is. And it's like, well, why are there homeless, hungry people when grocery store after grocery store or restaurant after restaurant are throwing away all this ready-made food
Mhm.
just so that people starve? Just so that the price can stay what they want the price to stay? And it's this kind of inhumane treatment of people on the margins that we totally let run away from itself, and it's why the world is such a miserable fucking place as it is right now.
Practically untenable.
It is untenable.
And that's why those of us who just cannot handle it anymore, we lose our shit. We wind up on the street, either directing
Can't get
traffic in
emotional.
our nightshirt or wearing a sandwich board, walking up and down saying the end is near.
Don't you get
Mhm.
emotional about it though. You got to be a perfect logical being. And
Mhm.
you need to be the force of change that you want to see in the world. That's such a crock of shit. Like when money is the end all only motivator of people, and you see that it's actually the equivalent of the energy that you can pour into like your political argument, your legal argument, your business, which is what gets you money. It's so easy for people to just say money's all that matters, and we've let countless people. I dare say millions of people have died under this kind of presupposition of motivating principles within our economy. And it's actually extremely unchristian, and it's probably more than the people we've killed in direct wars, in my opinion. And to me, like it would be something that would bring me to a level of rage that would be like wanting to do something like what you've heard about Luigi Mangione when he killed that the president of that health company.
Right.
It's like the people at the top of this really are the major constituents who keep this game going. And so
Yeah.
part of me wants to socialize, but at the end of the day, I also cannot refute. that there needs to be a capitalized like economy structure for people who want to make something of themselves out of the material goods in this world, because if there isn't, and you let people socially dictate like what the price of corn is instead of the free market, then
Mhm.
you're just going to have that just on a different side of the equation. I mean, Christ, they say that the Soviet Union people were eating their own children because the
Mhm.
children and they were both starving to death, and that you're not going to kill yourself, you're going to kill your child first, and then you're just going to eat them. And so we've seen both ends of this depravity, and we need to respectively implement both socialized economy structures and capitalized economy structures in the places that it makes sense.
Well, we're not allowed.
Well, we can't change. It's hard to change. They say a big ship is slow to turn.
Yeah, it takes it a while to answer the helm.
Yeah, and I used to be on the helm of a 300-foot, maybe actually almost 400-foot cruiser, and yeah, I know a bit about the physicality of that, but it's even more difficult with people these days because we're so politically biased, we're so entrenched in the way we have been doing things, and so many other reasons.
I don't know where it's going, and I say all the time, it's good to be old because I don't know how I would handle perhaps what's unfolding down the road, you know? I don't know. I'm tired.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah, well, I wish you every strength and, keep your wits about you. Keep a level head, you know, watch out, be
Mhm.
aware of your surroundings and
Mhm.
all that, both metaphorically and for reals. Yeah, so what else do we wanna talk about? We're just solving the
World
world's
problems. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
are you still squeaking on that cheese? Are you still eating that cheese?
No, no, no. My
Mhm.
diet's all jacked up right now. I've been getting, like, cheese curds. I eat, like, a small thing of cheese curds for my lunch, and then I'll eat the burgers that I get later, and
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um
I had a tuna melt before we came live. I made my tuna salad yesterday, and so
Mhm.
okay, I'm gonna describe this to you. It's cooking time with Robin. Um, no, Butsy Chicken Bitty. Okay, I put butter some bread, put it in a hot skillet, just briefly, just enough to and then I flip it over, put the first slice of cheese on after I flip it over, so it's the because I like to use Kraft Deluxe, a little thicker American cheese, put that
Mm.
on there. Pile the tuna salad on, smush it down, and then I have discovered Kraft Singles caramelized onion flavored cheese,
Oh.
right? Never heard of that before. It's very skinny, so that's why I put that on second, so peel the wrapper, put that on top of the tuna, the next bread on top of that, butter it, butter it, butter. Okay, smush it down a little bit, get it let everything start getting warmed up, check the bottom, see if it's kinda beyond paper bag color on the bottom,
Mm.
flip it over, let that all warm up, start smashing it down with your flipper, flip it
Mhm.
over a couple more times to get I like it slightly beyond brown, slightly beyond brown. Little not burnt, not black, just slightly and then it was pretty good, but I think I need 2 or 3 of those caramelized onion slices because I couldn't taste that. I could taste American and chicken salad, the tuna salad,
Mm.
but that's about it. I okay, so there's my story.
Cooking is so delicate.
It's
Cooking
alchemy. It's
it
magic.
is. Yeah, it
It
is.
truly is, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and, when you do it for a whole lot of years, you get pretty good at it, and yeah, it's magic. It blows me away even now that you can take these different components, totally unrelated, and join them together and you make something. It comes out something different and wonderful. And yeah,
Even more than that, I feel like the fact that you had to smush it down because how thick the layer is important. And
Mhm.
like
oh, yeah.
there's all these little super delicate dynamics that you have to tend to.
Little tweaks, little nuances.
Mhm.
Yeah, that just and it's a process. It takes a long time, trial and error, a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes. Yeah, but yesterday I put on a half a pound of hamburger, and I need the protein. I'm not fond of anyway. Taco onions and chopped potatoes, taco seasoning, cooked up. And so, anyway, so today it's in the fridge. So today I'm going to assemble burritos. I've got the tortillas.
But
I've got,
how do you know what the right adjustments are? I pretty quickly start to find out like, oh, that was too
well,
much of the
now,
tuna
okay,
layer. I need to
you
thin
don't,
out the tuna layer.
Yeah.
yeah, you very seldom learn from stuff you do right. Yeah, I've made a lot of fucking mistakes.
Yeah.
Because I figure I've been cooking for about 65 years. That's room for a lot of mistakes, a lot of learning from them, and paying attention.
Mhm.
I think what I'm thinking is that there's like an intuitive aspect
Excuse
to
me.
it though.
I
It's like
Yeah,
you have to listen to yourself. Like in the video when they're like, we got eyes to see and brains to think. When something weird happens, we need to reflect with ourselves to think about what the right thing to do is. And I think that's actually a lost art nowadays, is that the whole self-reflection component. But on the same hand, before like moments before I went into this, I listened to this short on YouTube of this old guy, and he's like, if you could go back and talk to your 16-year-old version of yourself, what would you tell him? And he's like, jump now.
yeah.
And, and then he's like, no, I'm just kidding. I would tell him, listen to the advice your mom told you. You need to work really hard in school to get a good job, and then you need to work really hard at the good job to get the house, to get the family, to get the kids, and then you need to work really hard to make sure that you keep all of that. He said, and the reason why you want to go that way is because the less that you think about things, the happier you'll ultimately be. Because some of us spend way too much time, and I know I do, spend a lot of time in contemplative self reflection to the point where I'm like overly rewiring shit in my head. I'm like, maybe it doesn't go here, maybe it goes here. Maybe this makes more
Oh,
Oh,
sense.
my
I'm
worst
so bad
nightmares are
for
like
that.
that. I've
Yeah.
had dreams like that, and I wake up
Oh,
exhausted trying to solve this problem over and over, relentless. I almost have it. I almost have it. But you
mm,
do that when you're awake.
I did that with substance abuse. If I can just think
Okay.
my way out of this, if I can just rationalize the negative health effects, and there really was no rationality, because overall, in my opinion, substance abuse is just another form of suicidality. It's the person who doesn't have an overlaid motivation perspective on what their role is in the world, and so they just pleasure seek until there's nothing left. And it's a form of just wearing yourself into the ground until it's all dust. And it's so there's a balance. Again, talking about balance, like you need to,
Yeah.
and it needs to be definitely more work than self-contemplative reflection.
Yeah. Yeah. And with all that activity, boy, there's just this old saw about, if there's too much going on in your head, get up and move your body. That sounds so stupidly simple, but god damn, it's better than taking a Valium.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
I shouldn't have said the V word. Anyway, move your move your body. It sounds so simple. I have to remind myself, and I'm pretty smart to do that today. Yeah, just probably last week. If being pulled down, it's a familiar, comfy place. I'm gonna wallow in this. Wait, this isn't good. I got up and moved, and
Mhm.
god damn if that didn't pull me up a little bit. It's not, a cure all, but damned it helps.
But don't be confused. It's not just Valium or drugs. It's looking at your cell phone for that
Uh,
comment.
mm,
It's playing a video game because there's nothing else to do. I reflected on the word abuse, and it's ab-use. It's a conjugated word that we've almost completely redefined because we associate it with physical violence, but in truth, it's the abuse. Like the word abnormal means not normal. The word
Right.
abuse means not using. You're not
Mhm.
you're not being intentional. You're not being consciously self-aware when you're in an abusive scenario. And you can do this with anything, with resorting to eating when you get depressed, with going on a drive because you'd rather do that than fight or talk with your significant other and actually solve the problems. But only in the sense that you're doing it in an unconscious way is it problematic. And and so I've been doing this with yoga. So like every time I get obsessive about looking for the message from my ex-girlfriend, I go start doing yoga and counting the sun salutation that I'm in and only focusing on what count am I at? What count am I at? And that helps me a lot.
yeah, the distractions.
Mhm.
Cesar Milan, the dog whisperer, distraction,
Mhm.
break the train of thought.
Mhm.
Well, that too, wouldn't that fall in the same category as like grounding?
Yeah.
That's part of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would. It would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I tend to overthink, and I love to replay the scenarios in my head. May it
Mhm.
be financial or just what situation has transpired in my life. That and it's like once in a while I have to sit down with myself and firmly say, stop. It's just paper and metal circles, little bits of circles. It's not money. It'll happen. Money'll happen. Um, it's out of your hands. And the other thing too is like whatever's going on in your life. Um, like, okay, for instance, my computer was acting up. I overthought it. I went from it shut itself down a couple of times. I overthought it. I went into panic mode thinking, "Oh my god, is it my PCU or you know what?" And then I thought, "Stop. Just take some air, canned air, dust it out. That's probably the only problem." Took me several days to still get over that's probably the simple answer. But in the meantime, I tried to do other things and self talk to get myself out of my head.
And just kind of uh, distantly related to that, it's like, I, okay, looking for something. I can't find it. God, I know it's here somewhere. Where is it?
Oh,
Where
that's
is it?
bad. Yeah.
Stop looking for it.
It's
Like,
only stuff.
and
It'll show up.
it shows up as soon as
Yeah.
you give up.
Right.
So there's reward,
But
there
then
is reward.
I will tell myself too, I've just halfway through looking for said stuff. And I'm going, you wasted energy,
Mm.
your time, and you put yourself in such a physical state, because you can also get very upset stomach wise and everything else because of something like a piece of paper.
Yeah, and then you learn to just shrug.
Hmm.
Oh, well, that wasted time. Well, so what? Didn't cost
Well,
you
it's
anything.
like this
But
morning I was bragging to you, Robin, how for whatever reason, while I was killing time because I was waiting to go to the store, I think you know why.
yeah,
But anyways,
my lips are sealed.
yeah. Okay, I'll just say I was digging through the ashtrays.
That's oh no, dang.
So it was
You thought
one of those
something
more.
more. Yeah.
And
In my
so I
case,
just
it'd be
go,
something more.
here we go again. Well, like, why do you keep doing this to yourself? And I'm going, oh, and it's like, it's only an hour and a half. Just deal with it. So next thing you know, I went out into my garage and without thinking, it was a beautiful, mild day for up here. Um, I started cleaning out my truck, which needed cleaning all winter. I got rid of all sorts of junk that have accumulated inside there and killing some time. And then I realized, whoa, it's time to go to the store. So that was great. So I did that. And then before I realized it, I was cleaning something else out in like on my porch. I was getting rid of all the recycling and this and that. And normally that's the stuff that's the part of with my depression. Like when I start to overthink and I allow situations to take over me in my head, these are the things that normally take the back seat. So they compound the problem of what's going on.
It
Boy,
keeps
So,
coming to mind to me that like when I get stuck in a pattern where there's no room for me to find like new growth, new developments, new
mhm,
aspects of that thing that are ultimately striving for a goal that I'm looking to obtain. Like with yoga, there's a certain level of flexibility I'm trying to obtain so that I'm not, because I even feel my hips get like overly tight from sitting too much or something like that. So I'll go do some sun salutations to kind of open that muscle up again.
mhm,
Um, and if there's no element to the thing that you're doing, like cooking, if there's no room for exploration at all, then you are almost certainly in the realm of abuse. If you're just going through the motions, if you're just simply doing something with no new internal insights coming to mind, like me constantly fantasizing about receiving a text message from my
right.
ex, telling me I was wrong and you were right, like there's
yeah.
nothing new for me there. That's a stagnant pattern of cyclical energy, which can only somehow maybe stay where it is or somehow spiral down into something worse. Then that's when you need to catch yourself. That's the moment you're like, "Oh, there's a million things. I put off the dishes, I put off going for walks, doing anything to enhance my own health. I could be doing one of these things instead of this same old thing, which has not brought me any results."
Because the loop is familiar and you cling to it and you don't realize that it is a spiral downward. But, you know, but then you learn, okay, breaking that loop, phew, boy, and it works and it's not hard. It's just realizing and
I'm
letting it
wasting my
occur
energy.
to you
Yeah.
that you can get out of it. But, there's a comfort in that. Better the devil you know kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But then once you get to the healthier place, healthier in quotes, whatever it is for you, you go, ah, and then hopefully you can build on, and learn to recognize it sooner, and not, take this weird BDSM kind of a painful pleasure in
Mhm,
and realize, number one, it ain't healthy, and you can be in a happier place.
mhm.
A
Yeah.
snake eating its own tail. You ever
Yeah.
seen that? That's
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
when you get to the point in any activity where you feel like you're like catching up to your own tailwind of energy in that domain, and you can almost and it becomes almost more about observing yourself than it is about being at the head of the snake. You're like you are the head of the snake, but you're so busy only seeing your own ass, your own tail, and you might be confused with it, right? You might be like, "Oh, this is maybe some other snake's tail. Let me bite down on that."
Yeah.
No. When you're and I think we can get to a point of self-realization with that, with many different things. But it is hard to reconcile sometimes because a lot of it is this kind of gray, introspective, psychological zone that you're in. But I think, I mean, just talking to you guys, it's going to help me kind of realize this now, like getting this kind of perspective on these things that I do. Um,
Yeah, I get. Hey, I feel the same way. Just dealing with people way smarter than me, like you, Kendall, because you are. But just you get a level up each time. Uh,
somewhere,
the
somewhere.
the reality hits you. The you know the realization hits you. Yeah, it's always a level up.
And with psychological things, have you ever noticed like the things that you're kind of working on in your brain, when you finally set them aside and you go off and do something kind of sometimes clicks and you're like,
Yes, exactly.
epiphany, epiphany. That subroutine doesn't go away if you're not immediately attending to it
It keeps
consciously.
working in the
It
background.
it does, and if you can devote your conscious energy to something that is more useful to yourself, then it's a win-win, 'cause that's going on anyway. You already had those thoughts. It's a cyclical chain that kind of feeds itself, and you need to have higher energies that you're feeding upon so that that's not your only mode of operation and you don't stagnate and decline
Oh,
into a spiral.
Killendall, that is so smart, and also that feeds in with that connects with the power of words. Um, Pay attention to your self-talk. Is it Are you being nice to yourself? Is your self-talk, uh, putting yourself down? Is it, uh, blaming yourself? Oh, blame is a big one, you all. Get blame,
Shame and blame.
shame and blame.
Mhm.
You know, pay attention to the words that you're using, number 1, to describe your life, because your life is listening. How you describe yourself, your situation, because your subconscious is paying attention. Your subconscious is gonna go with whatever you put in there, and it'll start working. It'll put it in with the rest of the gears. It'll be fed into its little machine of plasma and, smushy stuff. Uh, so, it's real, pay attention. Words have power, your thoughts have power, and it won't, not necessarily to the external world, but your words have power within you, and it affects you.
Oh, most definitely.
Fuck all that out there. You're effective. It's just you're effective inside yourself. And there's some power.
I always think of like I get told a lot, like when I'm in a group setting, that like the conversation, the insights that come out in the group settings I really participate in, that they're like more profound. And I used to think too highly of myself. I used to think like, "Oh, I'm bringing a lot to the table." But then I saw a TED Talk about this woman talking about what people she calls wholehearted, and it's just about people who have a certain level of courage and who are sticking their necks out to the point where other people feel comfortable to do the same.
Yes.
And I
Mm.
Thereby fostering the atmosphere where people feel like they can
because what
express.
happens is like I'll be this stick my neck out type of person, and I'll be like, "Oh,
Catalyst.
I carried, I was this, that, or the other." And but in truth, I just don't have the conscious awareness to really take note of what other people are bringing to the table. It oftentimes, because they bring in such good ideas and I immediately take them on as my own, I think it's my idea. Well, it is. I've taken it on, but it didn't
Yeah,
come from me.
the
Mhm.
transformative thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I
It
get
didn't
it.
come from me, but that's what happens in group participation, and,
Mhm.
when you were talking about you are who you hang around before the show, that's very much what's happening is people they see the contributions of each other, and we try to take what's best and we try to make it part of who we are. And then we say, oh, the narcissist will tell you, this came from me. I can't see outside of myself. I cannot recognize the way that the contributions of others actually brought me to this point of elevation. And the empath would say, God knows what, but I think they would somehow disavow themselves. Oh, I learned that from such and so or the other. This isn't even my thought. I didn't in any way bring any value to this scenario except for the fact that I reiterated. And that reminds me of a famous quote I heard about copying people's quotes. And they said, it doesn't matter who said it before you. You said it. That's what matters.
And there are new ears to hear it.
Yes.
That is true.
That
Yes.
may not have heard it back when you heard it. So this is like, the what's old is new again. And if you're the messenger, okay, own it. It's all right.
Yeah, you bring value for recognizing that it was valuable, that it wasn't just some piece of trash that you picked up on the road.
And you're paying a tribute by the perpetuating of the
Even
it.
without giving credit, even without. And that's my main problem with like the music industry is like, do you think people believe if I'm playing a music when I'm playing a video game that I'm somehow trying to claim that this music is my own? Do you think people listening to me actually think for a second like, oh, this is all custom Killendale music here, this motherfucker's a fucking multi-talented? No, they know. And also, is the value in music hearing something for the first time? In fact, artists would be doing much better for themselves if they weren't too busy quibbling over whether or not someone had the rights, or if they made the statement, oh, this is not my music. Instead of just let people play the vibes, and those who resonate are going to be like, damn, that's a good song. I need to go listen. Every song I like, I listen to 100, 1,000 times over.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in listening to it, like sometimes those are lifelong things. And then listening to it many, many, many years later, you can bring back the exact same feeling that you had. You will relive all of those feelings and mindset and emotions that you experienced back. I think it's so wonderful. There is such pleasure in that.
So crazy cool. It is amazing how it can take you back to all the emotions, the
Instantly.
feelings, the interpersonal relationship, better than someone telling you about some kind of historical event ever could.
Yeah, and
Right.
better than any book. Although books are pretty potent too. Okay, next best thing, a fragrance, a smell, an aroma. Take you right back.
Oh,
Same
definitely.
emotions, same feelings, same love, same passion. And that's a wondrous thing too. You know? So combine your best era's song with the very best smells. Laying out under a sun hat, listening to some waves and birds, there's nothing better. You don't even need the sun hat and waves and birds, it's just, yeah.
Keep thinking of this phrase I dropped, and I don't think people understand what I mean. The future only has room for what's best in us.
And wow.
What do you think of that?
I like that.
And what I would say to my younger self at the age I am now, I would say, and this is choking me up, you're going to be okay.
Exactly.
That
Yeah.
little girl grew up to be pretty damned okay.
Why do you feel like that's making you so emotional? I'm not trying to get you more emotional if you don't want to.
Being little hurt.
Like physically of stature, or like
Everything.
psychologically?
Yeah, being a little kid,
Yeah.
hurt in all the ways.
Mm.
Yeah. Whoa. Boy, that came out of left field. Holy shit.
That's okay, Robin. He'll charge you after the show. There you go.
Whatever.
I'll put it
Get
on
his
my
little
tab,
lemonade
If I can,
stand
Gilligan.
if
going
I
up
can
there.
get you to cry, I want $100. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Hey, yeah, we had a deal going on behind the scenes, Robin, you didn't know about.
Yeah.
well, hey, happy to be of service, you know. It's call on me again any old time.
Did you ever hear
Oh,
me say that you wish you could cry? It's like the emotional ejaculate of the soul. Have you ever heard me say that?
No. Have you ever heard me say when the eyes can't cry, your organs will weep?
No.
All of those words are true.
But I've noticed it is very cathartic to cry.
Yeah.
It is very
And you know, that's probably only the second time, maybe second or third time I've ever thought of addressing that, giving it voice. That's the first time I've ever given it voice. What would I say to that little kid? You know, because that little kid was in some despair.
but you
So
know what? The
it
future,
turns out okay.
yeah, the future is now. And yeah, look at you now. You're okay.
Hell yes. Look who my friends are.
Hmm.
And this is my sum total right here. Here are 3 of my folks. 2 of my folks. Well, I'm including myself. Yeah. So you guys, we've been on for an hour and a half.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Do we want to conclude with anything? Do we have any final thoughts? When we're all done, I have one final thought. But you guys go first. Do you have anything further to say?
I have a poem. I'll drop it once I get it typed out here.
Are we waiting? Okay, are we waiting till he types it out? We'll wait till he types it out.
Oh, okie dokie.
So it's the word friends, but every other word is not a derivative from the word friend. So it's friends are fiends that fried to find you in the end.
Look at that.
Wow. Interesting.
Look at that. Just
Wow.
look.
Every other word is
Yes.
a breakdown of the word friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even the word in is supposed to be capitalized, but I forgot to do that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Mm.
I want that on a cruel embroidery hoop. Holy shit, Kellendall. When did you think of that? Has it always been with you?
It's been with me for 5-6 years or more, probably.
Fuck. Your brain.
Mhm.
Oh, look at that. You know, I always just, lightheartedly uh, told folks that our Kellendall, you ask him what time it is, he will tell you exactly how to make a watch.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Gotta love this guy. Okay, cat. Got anything? Bouncy cat.
Bouncy cat. Yeah. I
Yeah,
stopped bouncing.
I know. It's because I stopped showing that devil video.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have no final thoughts. It's just that it's been so much fun with both you guys.
Thanks. And you are you are our official Valium. There's something about the people from Canada that
Oh,
it's just such a calming influence. You know, they're so level. Although I've seen her get salty. You know, she's
oh,
not a
you know,
sap or a pushover, but she's just such this gentle, calming soul. Thank you for being here,
I
Kellen.
I get a kick out of a lot of times when you Americans think of us as all being very nice and
Don't
polite.
you know?
And it's like, oh my God, no, we are yes, but then when we let loose, it's in a different way. And oh, it's frightening.
Yeah, well, you don't instantly come on the scene as a jarring personality. You come on, you creep in, you're kind of quiet and safe and mm,
I
yeah.
think, yeah, a lot of, yeah, and I think that goes for a lot of Canadians too. That's where you bump into somebody, a stranger in a store or something, and automatically everybody's saying sorry to each other.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who bumped into who, or you just lightly brushed, you know, your arm against them, and all of a sudden the sorries are dropped. That seems to be the way it goes around here. I just don't understand it. Um, but on the other hand, oh yeah,
Yeah, well, I'm kind of I don't mind being a little prickly outwardly, but yeah, but I've apologized to end cap gondolas food displays when I've bumped into them. Oh, sorry. Clink, clink. Yeah, or mannequins. Oh, sorry.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I'll turn around and like grab them. Oh no, I just said I'm sorry. Yeah. So okay. So um, I think we're gonna close this out, but I have a final thought, and then I'm gonna end the stream. And I want to address the chat. Okay, up there. Genocide. Thank you for being here, Genocide. You had to go shopping, I understand. Renee's sending you shopping. Who else? Maggie. Uh, Thank you for being here. Maggie. Okay, I see M. Dinan. Thank you for being here, M. Dinan. I want to address something in chat. Davy. Davy, X tense. You are not welcome here. Don't ever come back. Um, we know, we know about you, but you're a liar. You're a grifter. You took advantage of people right out in the open. Never mind what you went to prison for. Paid for it. Still wouldn't be your friend even after you paid for it. But you're a liar and a grifter. Get the fuck out of here. You're blocked. Don't show up again, or I'm showing that fucking news clip. Okay? Ban user and put you in timeout. Goodbye. Okay, I'm ending this. Maggie, thanks for showing up. Jonaside, thanks for showing up. Killendall, Cat, see ya.
Okay.